When I read over last week's diatribe, I knew it was going to create a few misconceptions. I could have gone back in and added a little tangent here and there to clarify, but it would have fucked up the narrative flow. It would have taken us off topic constantly, and it would have bloated the segment into a dozen minutes of that's not to say's and don't get me wrongs. The point I was making in last week's diatribe is that there is no holiday less in danger of being warred on than Christmas. And in service of that point, I just noted the sheer density of Christmas shit that stood between me and a simple audio purchase. Now, along the way, I made myself out to be something of a Grinch, which is inaccurate. But, like I said, I saw it coming. It would have just taken us too far afield for me to stop and remind everybody that I fucking love me some Christmas, or that Christmas is essentially a secular holiday. Now, both of those points are true, but they didn't matter to the larger point I was making, so I left those threads untied. But I'm coming back for them this week because I want to make it damn clear to everybody that I fucking love me some Christmas and that it's a secular holiday. So last things first, because I want to be specific about what I mean when I say that Christmas is secular. Yes, legally speaking, in the United States, Christmas is considered a secular holiday, but that's just some legislative hocus pocus to make it legal to shut the country down on that day. What? We can't close the post offices for a religious holiday? Well then, presto changeo legislato, Christmas is secular. So if anything, the legal designation as a secular holiday is an extension of the same kind of Christian overreach that I was bitching about last week. But when I say it's secular, I'm talking about the actual cultural celebration. Yes, religious people do religious shit on Christmas, but they do religious shit all the fucking time. The giving of gifts, the use of trees and candles, the Santa mythos, the stockings, the reindeer, the light, the emphasis on charity and goodwill, all the shit that would be required to make the average American think Christmas is not only secular, but it predates Christianity. I mean, not the Santa thing, but variations of it. And sure, some of it's rooted in pagan religions, but even those religions were probably just codifying existing celebrations. And of course, I have to specify I'm talking about American Christmas because it's primarily a cultural holiday. You go to any part of the Muslim world, and you'll largely find a uniform celebration of Ramadan. You go anywhere in the world, and the Jews are going to be waving the same fucking leaves and eating the same vagina cookies for their holidays. But across the Christian world, the concept of Christmas can be unrecognizably dissimilar. Even within the English-speaking world, where the common cultural ancestor is only a couple hundred years removed and there's been a ton of vertical transfer, there are still distinct cultural differences between the ways that we celebrate Christmas. So sure, there's a potent religious side to Christmas, and it can have the nativity scenes and the Christmas service and about 2/3 of the songs. That's it. The secular end of Christmas gets all the shit that doesn't suck and 1/3 of the songs. So some of the stuff that does suck, but you still get all the good stuff. Of course, there are people in the atheist world that would vehemently disagree with me here. I know this. I've heard a lot of very cogent arguments about why non-believers should abandon Christmas. And they might even be right, but I've also heard a lot of really cogent arguments about why I shouldn't eat meat, or why I should get more exercise, or why I should stop selling meth to fourth graders. But that doesn't mean I'm going to do that shit because Christmas is awesome. Now, the arguments against atheists celebrating Christmas, as near as I understand them, is that it reinforces the cultural dominance of Christianity, especially since their name is right there in the holiday. And I get that. I know these people, you give them a cubit, they take a stadia. So as long as the vast majority of people in this country are putting lights on their houses or saying Merry Christmas or giving gifts or whatever, they're always going to use that to exaggerate the depth of their majority. And to be fair to the people that are arguing the anti-Christmas side, they're probably right that simply secularizing the holiday into Winterfest is never going to completely ameliorate that problem. Emphasizing snowflakes and candles over mangers and wise men, or even over, elves and reindeer, probably won't mitigate the kind of overreach that leaves Christians unable to distinguish the quantitative difference between, us protesting a nativity scene on a courthouse lawn and protesting the one in their front yard. But there is another way to tackle the problem that doesn't require us to give up anything. In fact, with all due respect to the atheists in the anti-Christmas camp, it seems to me like they're asking us to drain the ocean when we could just caulk the boat. I mean, think about it. What religious holidays do you celebrate? Odds are that if you're listening to the show, it's going to be the Christian ones. Christmas, Halloween, Easter to some degree. And yes, those are all Christian to varying degrees, secular to varying degrees, but I don't want to get bogged down in all of that. So for the purposes of this discussion, they're Christian. I mean, they're not Jewish or Hindu, but why not Jewish holidays? Why not Hindu holidays? I mean, we're atheists. We can take whatever holidays we want to whatever degree we want. Sure, most of the Jewish holidays suck, but if you're only looking at the religious parts, all of the holidays suck. Look, the idea of, atoning for all the shit you did wrong over a year, that's a pretty cool idea, setting aside a day for that. I mean, we don't have to call them sins, but I like that. Whatever, they celebrate Purim by reading Esther and eating vagina-based cookies. Sounds boring, yes, but if you secularize it, you leave out the Bible and the cookies and just celebrate by eating vagina, that is an awesome fucking holiday. And you can make cookies for the kids or whatever. I mean, shit, if you secularize the Jahannam out of it, you could probably even make Ramadan fun. But there are plenty of religious holidays out there that wouldn't need much work at all. I mean, a ton of the Hindu festivals have kites. We don't have any kite holidays. Why the fuck not? How awesome would that be if we just had a day where we all got together and flew kites? Or what about Holi, the Hindu festival of colors? Yeah, how awesome would it be if our culture started to adopt that one and decorated for it as ubiquitously as we decorate for Christmas? Huh? Or, you know what? If I'm not mistaken, all of the major neo-pagan holidays come with fucking. That's good. The point is, being an atheist doesn't have to mean giving up on anything but the superstition. The holidays should be like everything else. When you give up on God, it's all gain, no loss.